Love is in the air here at base camp, and I've been getting set up to breed the perfect pal. So I sat down recently and organized all of my pals in the pal box by trait. Most notably the gold traits, such as Burly Body, Ferocious, Artisan, Lucky, and Swift. First up on the breeding list was getting myself a new flying mount. I basically just wanted to get a Van Worm, but one that had Swift, so we'd have that nice speed bonus. So Loop Moon and Quivern, you guys are up. And the first egg I hatched was just what I was looking for, a Van Worm with Swift. And at this point, I was kind of setting a goal to just breed as many pals as possible with gold passive skills. And so began a long couple of hours of breeding pals. Cellrays with Cellrays, Grintails with Loop Moons, Relaxaurus Lux with Anubis, and in my downtime I went all over the map in search of bosses to do battle with. And in the process I captured a Lunaris, this boss Gummoss, and another Bushi boss. But when I went head to head with this Broncherry Aqua, things did not go my way, at least at first. And I respawned at my base with all of my gear on, which I'm not going to ask any questions about that. As the gene pool expanded within my pal box, I was inspired to see what kind of other pals I could breed and how good I could make them. So I sat down and I came up with a long breeding program to obtain myself a Hell Zephyr. It was going to take a while, but here's the plan. Nightwing and Cellray to get Bushi, Bushi and Beacon to get Mosanda, Mosanda and Rayhound to get Grisbolt, then Grisbolt with Relaxaurus to get Orzurk, who then mixes back with Grisbolt to get Astagon, who then mixes back with Grisbolt to get Hell Zephyr. A program which would take me roughly 5 or 6 hours to complete. I might be making the wrong eggs, but there was a happy accident in the breeding process and I wound up with a whole handful of Yormantide as well. Oh no, what happened? But in between the breeding process, it was time to go out and explore further around the island. And it started by heading over to this mining site that everyone has been raving about. This has to be the most popular mining site in all of Palworld. With mixed ore and coal, this should produce ingots well into the late game for me. So I set up a mining operation, moved all of our mining pals over here, and got to work. I continued to confront pretty much any boss that I came across. And after a string of failures against Laid Noct, level 49, and Wumpo Botan, level 38, and then against Verdash, level 35, I was getting pretty frustrated. Of course, part of the problem was poor decision making on my part and poor evasion as well, but the other half of the problem was a poor selection of battle pals. So I set out to capture a Warsect boss, and that went over pretty well. This Warsect has the potential to become a staple on the team for many days to come. I also captured this level 31 Mosanda Lux. I captured a level 38 Memorist as well, if anything just for breeding in the future. I captured a level 29 Beacon, and honestly from what I've heard, the Beacon is probably a better flyer than is the Hell Zephyr, so we might be transitioning in this direction pretty soon. Captured a level 31 Relaxaurus Lux, and a level 17 Digtoise after that. Followed by level 31 Elizabeth, level 30 Elphidran, level 27 Gale Claw, level 25 Thangalope, that level 35 Verdash that killed me earlier as well, and in search of some new fire pals, I hopped over to Mount Obsidian for some wild captures, such as this new Ragnahawk and this new Blaze Howl. But my hot streak was about to come to an end, because just as I was about to try and capture this level 38 Valette, no! But I did bounce back with the capture of Mosanda Lux. The eugenics, I mean breeding program at the base was going swimmingly, and of course in the meantime I was off to explore the world, this time to the northern deserts, where I would come across probably my luckiest find ever. No way, man. Level 50? Oh, this guy has got to be like ultra legendary. How in the world would I ever capture this guy? Long story short, I tried, but I could not. This guy was way too strong, and I'd probably never see him again. At this point, I'm not sustaining raids at either of my bases. This is the clifftop base right here for mining coal and ore, but also at my home base, never seen a raid there either. I ended up tearing down the entire defensive wall back at the main base because pals were just getting stuck on it and it was serving no purpose at all without any base raids going on. Here at the mining base though, I set up a time lapse here for a couple of days just to watch the pals do their job over an extended period of time and kind of study their habits and see how I can optimize the flow here. Unfortunately, I forgot to feed them for this entire duration, so afterward, all of them were either depressed, had ulcers, fractures. Every single pal that lives here had some sort of a medical problem, so I had my first foray into healing my pals, which was a little bit tedious, but I got everyone fixed up in no time. but an apology was definitely in order. So I had everyone line up over at the base and everyone got some love. And most importantly, some new jam-filled buns. I'd been doing so much breeding, in fact, over the past couple of days that the PAL box filled up and I was not able to have any more pals. So I had to make a trip to the black market for a big sell-off. And that was very profitable, netting me just over 127,000 gold. And now with my third base unlocked, I decided to set up a mini sulfur mine. Not a full-time mine, just somewhere where I could teleport over, have all my pals harvest me up some sulfur, and then kind of shut down the base and go back home. So this site is out in Mount Obsidian on this little island in the middle of the lava. And this base does get raids. It just so happens that this raid here was bugged out and they were all clustered up at their spawn point, like shooting fish in a barrel. And at long last, our breeding program came to a close. I had a bunch of Hell Zephyrs, enough so that I could breed 2 of them together until I got the desired traits. And that's where we pick up today's adventure. And so here's a look at the base as it stands today. The Hell Zephyrs are busy breeding in the breeding pens and everyone else is busy pretty much producing food. I think this base here is probably due for a bit of an overhaul. In fact, I've been thinking lately about building a new main base over at the mining base because over all the days here, I've observed one thing, which by the way, we are currently on day 101 here in my playthrough. I'm level 38, but the one thing I've noticed is that not much happens at a base unless you're at it. So your main base should probably be in the most important location so that stuff just gets done there. And the thing that needs to be done the most pretty much is mining. Breeding seems to go okay when you're AFK at a new location, like after you've fast traveled somewhere. But the mining situation, man, barely any mining is accomplished when I'm fast traveling around or when I'm not at the mining base. So I am kind of a mind today to turn this base here into the ultimate main base plus mining base 2 in 1 combined. And then we'll just have our breeding activities over at the other base. Now, admittedly, this is probably the most popular base building site in Palworld right now, so I have seen what can be accomplished. I've seen some recommendations on how to build a base here, but I'm gonna give it my own try. All right, quick catch up on the character though. These days I'm pretty much rolling with grappling guns instead of any tools because I've been doing most of my work at the base and just haven't needed pickaxes or anything. I do have legendary metal armor that I crafted and that took a lot of resources to build. Also rolling with the single shot rifle these days, which is very powerful. Good reload, much better than the musket, and I prefer this over the pistol or the crossbow. So I'm just rolling with this full time pretty much. In terms of my pals, we're just basically waiting on the Hell Zephyrs to breed me a perfect Hell Zephyr, and then I'm gonna try it out for a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna commit to it for a while because the Hell Zephyrs that we're pulling right now are really, really good. Is someone fighting? Who's fighting over here? What are you guys fighting against? Oh, there's like one syndicate guy out there. Okay, you guys can handle that by yourselves, can't you? Or should I maybe? And somewhere in this mix here, I think these huge dragon eggs are Yormantides, because I'd really like to have a very strong water pal, one of these guys, and I have a really good breeding line for them right now. Should get one with all the good traits. Okay, so while things are going pretty well over here, I'll leave the Hell Zephyrs to it, and let's head over to the other base. In fact, I want to get a Hell Zephyr here, just any one of them, and see, because I have heard that they're not so great as a flyer for some reason. Look at this one though. We've got swift, burly body, and lucky. That seems to be a pretty good combination. All right, so, and I've got the saddle unlocked for it, but I've heard that it's just not, it doesn't have the agility or the speed or something. I don't know, it seems to be going pretty well for me, I guess. I don't notice any difference between this and the Van Worm that we had before. Maybe it's the stamina? I don't know. Stamina seems pretty good to me as well. Well, I'll give it a try for a few days anyway, and then maybe I'll switch over to the beacon and see if that's any better or worse. Pretty soon though, we're gonna be in a position where we're gonna want one of the like legendary pals to be our main flying mount. All right, so what do you suppose we gather up as much stone as we can? Is there anything else I'm gonna need for construction here? No, it's just stone to build like stone walls and everything, so that's good. We'll gather up all the stone I have, and then we'll head over to the other base and do a bunch of construction over there. Okay, so first problem is going to be that I'm gonna wanna build a platform to put the PAL box on, so we're gonna have to shut the whole base down temporarily and rebuild it and then get everyone back to work again. Oh, geez. I just destroyed the PAL box and immediately wild bee guards spawned on me and I'm like ultra encumbered right now. Okay, quickly put this stuff away so I can move before they explode. Okay, what the? Why did this even happen? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Mosanda Lux, my new favorite mon here, our pal, I should say. Let's see. We got some grenade launchers here. We're gonna fight fire with fire. Try not to destroy the storage boxes though, because they have stuff in them. Oh man, this is great. Whoever decided to give this guy grenade launchers, you are my hero. Nothing can stop us now. Just punch Elizabeth into, oh, speaking of punch, we actually have a blast punch here. Let it rip. Just punched her off into oblivion. Look how far away she went. This game is too much fun, man. All right, we're just gonna zap this one to death if we can, and we're all clear up here. All right, so the trick that I've seen a lot of people doing here is they pretty much put the PAL box right where I had it right here, but they're putting it on foundations, and so I'm gonna try to kind of line this up perfectly so that we can have our PAL box right on top of one of these. And in case you're wondering, I do have this mod that allows me to detach the camera like this. You can see me flying around down there, but it's really helpful, I think, in just kind of mapping out where you want your base to be. Like, using this tool here, I can kind of see that this would be the ideal center for our base right here. So that's probably where the PAL box should go. And here we go. I'd say that's just about perfect for where the PAL box should go right there. And I'm going to officially call our breeding program over. I've learned a lot in breeding up to this point, getting these really nice Hell Zephyrs. Could make an argument perhaps that it's pronounced Hell's Fire. I do like Hell's Fire a little bit better, but let me know how you're pronouncing it. All right, I'm wondering how this is going to work right here. We've got a 2x2 platform. I can put the PAL box right in the middle, and then I'll have 4 corner columns that are like a support tower so that we can build like a nice kind of rooftop going, or like a tower basically going up into the sky, where we can have most of our base operations, and then all of the mining will happen down here on ground level. I'm gonna build this up for a bit and see how it turns out. And here's where we're at after a little bit of trial and error. We've got the base platform at the bottom, 4 pillars leading to the top. And I think what I'll have to do is put some sort of a spiral ramp that leads its way up here so that some of the pals that do need to work up here can work up here. I might do the farming operation up here. Okay, now we need a place for the pals to live. And I want to build them a nice little house, but basically as far away from the middle of the base as possible. How far can we go in this direction over here? Pretty much right to the cliffside, which is good. So as we can see from this angle right here, coal mining is going to take place on the right side, ore mining will take place on the left side, and so I think the best place to arrange a living area for the pals is going to be probably on the back end over here, perhaps on this corner over this way. All right, let me get to work building and see what I can come up with. I'm also gonna try the metal pieces, which I have not built with just yet, and see what they look like. Okay, so we've got the living area, we have mining underway, we have feed boxes. We're pretty much ready to start moving the entire main operation over here, the crafting operation and the farming operation, and we'll just keep the breeding off site. Oh, crap. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't like this system anyway. Starting over. Okay, it has been a while, but I think I've finally come up with something that I can appreciate, that I like, and I think the key was, instead of using stairs, I'm using roof pieces as ramps, and so this little area right here has a perfect 15 spots for PAL beds, so this can be the PAL sleeping area. And then on each side, there is a ramp that will lead up to the rooftop, which can be for like farming purposes, or I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if the pals are gonna get stuck up here, or I guess the only way to figure that out is to build some up here. I redid the central platform too. I wanted to just start over and make everything out of iron. So this is going pretty well so far. And I think I did get that kind of centered up right off of the corner of the, I guess we call it the PAL box platform. It's centered up perfectly off this northeastern corner. All right, straw PAL beds will have to do for now, and then I'll work on getting some upgraded beds in here at some point. All right, we're undergoing our first gardening test here. Oh, look. Yormantide can water, he's so big he can water from the bottom down here, which is actually ideal, because we don't want him to get stuck up here or anything. I'm sure it'll happen eventually. Broncherry is planting. Wait a minute. are you planting from way over there? And the mining over here is already going extremely well with only, I think I have 4 Anubis out right now, 4 or 5. Yep, the base is beginning to take shape. I just wish that I could make something that's more original, because I feel like a lot of people just make these big open bases and it doesn't look good, but I believe this is about as functional as things can get. Yep, Yormintide is up there. That kind of scares me. He's either gonna fall off and die or get stuck up there and starve. I suppose one of the things I could attempt in order to try to make this look a little bit better is try to put some of these in, then kind of just string a wall of windows across the back as more of a safety precaution than anything. All right, go ahead, Robin Quills, and yep, they're running right up there to do their harvesting. Okay, so just kind of like thinking out loud here. What if we didn't have 2 ramps going to the top? We just had 1, since they seem to use it so effectively. And what if I just continued to build vertically? Like we make 1 more like floor on top of this, and then we put all of our production items up there, like the sphere production line, the weapon assembly line, things like that. Could be worth considering, and this would just be like our power tower right here, you know? I can't believe it's letting me build out like this. It's every other time I've tried this, it lets me build out by like 2 squares, and now I'm building out by like 5 or 6 squares. Yep, it's just totally floating here. I think that if you build roof pieces over a foundation, even if it's not connected to the foundation, I think that's what's counting right now. So then we would just want some metal walls to kind of prop things up to make it look good. See, Yormintide, why are you up here? You're so big, man. You're always in the way. Always getting stuck. You do good work though, that's why I keep you around. All right, so up here, we would put like the big production line things. I don't think I have the materials for them, but yeah, like the production assembly line, weapon assembly line, and the sphere assembly line. Okay, I think we're pretty much good to go here. Slight overhang on the front. I actually don't think that looks half bad though. It'll probably take a while of just living here and identifying what doesn't flow well, and I'll continue kind of remodeling as needed. Come on, come on, I know you want to do it. I know you just did it a second ago. There you go. Right, just needed to do that so I can get a bed up here, and we're pretty much all done with the base. Just gonna start working on the tear down at the other base and the rebuild over here. So let me do that. Oh, somebody built from down below. That is great. Good job, Anubis. So I will catch up with you guys in a couple of days when everything's all moved over here. All right, so let me get you guys caught up on the base so far. So all of the pals are moved over here. I have almost completely torn down the old base. I will just use the old base for breeding and for animal pens and stuff like that, trying to make milk and eggs and cotton or wool or whatever to make cloth. But anyway, over here, I'm gonna upgrade these beds over here to the high quality type so that the pals are more comfortable. This area here is strictly for farming, and hauling is a bit of an issue right now. I'm gonna have to get some pals that are specific for hauling, but I did put like a food trough there so they don't have to go quite as far. And then on the top level, we have production assembly lines, which I guess Verdash is working on. I don't know what she's doing up here. Inside my living quarters are all of the like the base wide upgrade buildings, because I just have too many problems with these buildings and pals getting stuck on them. Specifically the fountain, the silo, and I think those are the only ones that I typically see problems with, but I figured I'm just gonna put them all up here and not have to worry about it anymore. This is like my personal stuff up here, and as for other storage, it's just down here, and then there's pretty much storage all over the place. I think what I'll do here over the next week or so is I'll shut down the mining operation. I'll see where all of the ore nodes spawn, and then I'll put 1 box next to all 10 or 12 nodes that are up here to limit transport time. Yeah, the fluffy pal bed. Actually, I think I could probably build them all at this point. All right, I'm gonna rip all these down and replace them with the fluffy pal beds. Gotta take good care of our pals. All right, and that'll do it. You know, I was thinking while I was doing that, wouldn't it be cool if your pals were so unhappy that they would form a rebellion, and then suddenly they would start attacking the other pals and you, or anything else that's not a part of the rebellion. I think that'd be kind of funny. Okay, so the process for me is gonna be figuring out what pals can be here and which pals cannot. Yormintide, the watering pal, he is not allowed here. He gets stuck everywhere. That guy is just forbidden from doing anything except for combat. The Yormantide Ignis, I'm gonna roll the dice on him because he should stay more or less in the middle of the base, close to this, if I just keep him busy over here. And what I should also do is get some cooking pots and put them around here as well, so that he pretty much exclusively stays over here. I think I like having about 3 cooking pots, 2 for cakes and then 1 to put everything else in, because like when I come up here and I queue up 13 cakes, it's gonna be a while. All right, my friends, that is gonna have to do it. That is basically a full week of playing Palworld for me, condensed down into probably 20 or so minutes for you. Hope you enjoy that kind of format. Helps me kind of, because I like playing this in my spare time, like for my own enjoyment, and I've been having a great time on the game, but I also want to share my playthrough and my struggles and my discoveries with you guys. So stay tuned. I'll have another video out probably in the next week or so. But anyway, my friends, thank you very much for joining me on my adventure today, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for watching, for leaving a like, but most of all, thank you to the long list of amazing supporters that you see right here. I hope this episode has earned your subscription, and I can't wait to show you the next one. Best wishes to all, and goodbye.